Walk close to the ones that are walking the walk. What do I mean by that? If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Josh, living life alcohol free. If you're returning, thank you guys so much for being here and subscribing. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you all being here. So let's get right into this. Walking the walk. People that are walking the walk are the ones that we need to stay close to, the ones that really understand what it's like to be stuck in addiction. If I didn't have the people that I had in my life and have in my life to start this journey out, to succeed in this journey of recovery, of self discovery, there's no way I would be where I am today, 5+ years alcohol free, growing in my life, thriving in relationships, and waking up every single day with a purpose. That's really what this is all about. I made the last video, and if you haven't seen it yet, it's about really living a quality of life that's so important in this journey. And that's really one of the main reasons why I wanted to get alcohol free, was to experience a life that was actually healthy, a life where I woke up each day not with a hangover, but I could actually have the quality of life that I hoped for and wished for and prayed for so long. But I couldn't get there unless I had the help of people that knew exactly what I was going through. That meant a group of people, that meant a therapist that knew what I was going through, that actually went through addiction himself. That means having people that I could count on in my daily life, such as my spouse, to help me when I was having those really like tugging urges to drink alcohol, and those really trying moments where I craved an escape, something that I needed in order to get through what I needed to get through. So we leaned on alcohol for so long that it just became a fixture of our life. We became dependent on it, we became used to it. And when we used it, we knew what we were going to get. We were going to get an escape for a little while. We were going to get time away from all those things that were hard to process, those things that were detrimental to our life, but also that we could sweep under the rug and just enjoy the moment. And we thought that alcohol was helping that. So when I first quit drinking, I was able to find a group, and those of you that have been around this channel for a while know that This Naked Mind by Annie Grace was the book that really did it for me. That, and then following that book up with Alcohol Explained by William Porter. Those two books hand in hand really helped me. And I've talked about it enough before, but I really want to get into the fact that had Annie Grace not offered that group at the end of that book, I don't know that I would ever have been able to stay alcohol free, because the book made so much sense. But getting on the community and having a group of like minded people was really the catalyst to opening up my mind and giving it weight, being able to give alcohol free some weight, and actually think that and believe and see how other people were living their life without drinking alcohol at all in any amount, were actually feeling better. They were not thinking about alcohol anymore, and if they did have thoughts of it, they were negative thoughts. And that's really the key to this. There's a couple parts in my sobriety, or in my alcohol free life, whatever you want to call it, that were turning points in my recovery. The first one was around day 72 or 73, when I was having a huge urge to drink. We had just celebrated my one of our daughters' graduation from high school. We had a party at our house. I went up and I bought uh, I think it was a 12 pack of Bell's Oberon, which was my favorite beer. I didn't drink it all the time because A, it was expensive, and B, it was heavy and it put weight on. So I didn't do it I didn't drink it all the time, but it was one of those that I would have in the summertime, because it's sold here in Michigan from like April to the end of summer. So September, October. and so it's not all year round, but it's kind of it's a thick, heavy wheat beer. But I really anyway enjoy it. Enjoyed it, and I definitely don't enjoy it. I enjoyed it, but thinking back on it, that was my favorite beer. Now I had the beer that I drank in my fridge. Typically was Miller Lite for like the last 5 or 6 years of my drinking. That was my beer of choice. Before that, I think it was probably Bud Light. But the light beers, that's what I would drink pretty much continually all day, and then I might mix in some heavier craft beers, a few here and there, or whiskey or whatever hard liquor might sound good. But that was typically my drink. But I had that Oberon in my fridge for a good couple weeks before I started to really think about it. And I was having a bad day. I was thinking about the last night that I drank and thinking about how bad I felt about how I kind of maybe put that relationship with that particular daughter in jeopardy. And I was just feeling bad about myself. I was feeling ashamed. I was feeling all those things. It was the guilty feelings that turn into shame, and feeling ashamed for ourselves. That's when we can get into real trouble. So that's what I was feeling. I knew I was feeling it. I knew it was an issue. I knew it was a problem. And I had that Bell's Oberon in my fridge. Now, I had uh, Miller Lite in my fridge, a 15 pack of it that sat in my fridge from the day I quit drinking, uh, April 27th, 2020, all the way through those first 72 days and even beyond that. But it wasn't triggering, probably because I drank so much of it, just the thought of it made me nauseated. And let's be honest, it's not the greatest beer in the world, but it was relatively inexpensive. It was light, and I could just drink one after another and not get blackout drunk, which I didn't really ever want to do. I wasn't shooting to get blackout drunk, but on most days I would end up there, especially towards the end of the day if I was drinking all day, or the end of the night if I was drinking all night, and that's where I would end up. So thinking about those drinking occasions and then the hangover really kept me from craving, I think, that Miller Lite. But I had that Bell's Oberon in there, and I was feeling bad about myself. So I, but at this point, I kind of knew what my tools were, and I leaned on those tools. And my main tool was to go on This Naked Mind, post how I felt. If my wife was home, I would tell her that I was having a craving to drink, or I was seeking an escape, and then we would talk it out for a little bit, and then I would jump back on This Naked Mind, read several comments over that half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and there would be 10 or 20 comments on there. And one comment in particular stuck out, and it was, if you get through this urge to drink, you're going to be stronger for the next one. And that really resonated with me. That made me feel like, you know what, I don't have the craving that I did before, mainly because I spent an hour with my wife talking about how I was really feeling and why I needed an escape. But now that you say that, that solidifies in my mind that I already feel strong. Just that 1 hour of talking about how I was feeling and not drinking, and replacing that thought of drinking even with talking about why I'm feeling the way that I was, and then reading that solidified in my mind that I am strong. I can do this, and I can make it to 3 months. I was a couple weeks out from getting to 90 days, and I got to 90 days from that point forward. And I wouldn't say it was a breeze, but it certainly helped to have that person in my life, those two people in my life, and especially even the whole group as a whole, that community. But I wasn't going to have therapy for another week or so. So I didn't have time to wait that long. I had to work through those issues like right now in the moment. And that's really what it took. And then I had another really like, I wouldn't say it was a strong urge to drink, but I was having an urge to escape around like 2 or 3 years into my recovery. And at that point, I wasn't really thinking about alcohol very often. It was only when I was around other people that were drinking that I would think about it really. Um, or being at like a sporting event or just places where people were drinking. That typically was, or seeing like it in the movies or in commercials during sporting events, things like that. But I wasn't necessarily like wanting to drink. I was still entertaining thoughts of turning to like other things like marijuana or mushrooms, but I wasn't wanting to drink. I never ultimately turned to those other things. I ultimately decided I did not want to add on another addiction to my portfolio of problems. Because let's face it, even if we're not drinking and we're living an alcohol free life, there's still problems, and we're still human beings, and we still have things that we have to cope with and things that we have to deal with. But I was concerned, and so I posted that on This Naked Mind, and another member on there said you should reread Liminal Thinking by Annie Grace in This Naked Mind. And you can Google that. Liminal Thinking, Liminal. Liminal Thinking by Annie Grace. And it's in our subconscious mind, we have our mind trained to think a certain way and act on that. And as drinkers, we get into these situations because we've already groomed our subconscious mind to think a certain way, or when we're triggered we respond with what we already know, and that keeps us drinking. If we are having thoughts even after we quit drinking, and even like months and years after we quit drinking, we're having these thoughts, thinking about the reason why we're thinking the way that we're thinking, and then reframing those thoughts really does help. Reframing is a huge thing in recovery. It's it gives us the opportunity to completely revamp the way that we think about something. And that can go for any situation. We could be thinking really negatively about a person, we could be thinking really negatively about a situation. I know I still do. I know that I still don't like to be around like large groups of people. Typically, when I'm in those situations, I end up enjoying myself, but it's the anticipation leading up to that that kind of makes me worried. And but I reframe that thinking, and I think about why I'm there. Maybe we're celebrating. Maybe I'm celebrating a birthday. Maybe I'm going to a school function for my daughter. Maybe I'm going to make a video for my for this channel or another channel where I'm going to be around a lot of people. I put it into perspective, and I think this is why I'm here, and you know eventually once I'm there, I know myself, and I know that I'll feel good about it, and then afterwards I'll have good feelings, good thoughts, good feelings about that situation. So, but whatever that situation is for you that causes you to need to reframe it, there's always a positive way and a positive spin that we can put on any situation. And if we can do that, and then we're in those situations and we are able to take advantage of them, uh, we come out the other side feeling so much better. And then we kind of train our minds to think that way the next time and the next time after that, until we get to a point where maybe we're not comfortable in that situation, or maybe we don't want to do what we're doing, but we know that reframing that works. So so that really did help to go back and rethink that. I might even do like a book review of This Naked Mind at some point and talk about some of the key points in that book, such as going one calendar year without alcohol and experiencing each event and each holiday without alcohol, where we typically would be drinking, but experiencing it. being our true authentic selves, being in conversations, having boundaries, and leaving there and not, feeling bad about what we might have said and done, and then going on with our day and waking up not with a hangover, but feeling good and feeling like we, probably like a lot of other people that were at that function don't feel like this morning. They're probably, some of them, maybe a lot of them, are hungover, not feeling well, and regretting a lot of the stuff that they went through. Um, but we're living this life and we're growing, and every single day is a new opportunity to do that. And if we have, and we're walking close to the people that completely understand what we're going through, that's a key. That's a key to staying alcohol free, drug free, whatever it is that's the problem for you. Could be porn, could be food, could be just, hookup culture, could be any of it, and if that is something that you can take away from this, I would really be so grateful, because I'm glad that you guys are here, and I'm glad to be able to to be able to be making this content, for you guys, and talking about this stuff, because it is so important. I talked to you guys about the therapist that I had, who, like I said, I didn't see him. I saw him every week for probably the first few months, and then it was every couple weeks for a couple months after that, and then like maybe once or twice more, and then that was it. So a total of like 6 months. I lucked out. Excuse me. He was a person that was addicted to cocaine. He had a run with drinking a lot, binge drinking. Uh, he was recovering. I don't remember if he told me how long he was that had been since he used, but it didn't really matter. I knew that it had been a long time, and I knew that, he even said, "I don't know that I'll not ever use again. I might use again. I might retire, and I might need to. And excuse me. And I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that for right now and today, I feel better. It's better for my mind. It's better for my recovery. It's better. It benefits people around me. And that's what this is all about: taking care of ourselves, but using what tools we do have, and that includes having a group of people that understand it. If that's this group, great. I'm so glad that you're here and commenting, and let us know down in the comments where you're at with your recovery. How long has it been for you? How long have you been alcohol or drug free, or both? When was your recovery date? When did that start? Like I said, mine was April 27th, 2020. That's etched in my mind. I'll never forget that date. Um, that was the best day, best decision. And like I said, that wasn't the day I decided I was going to not drink again. It was about 8 or 9 days after I had been alcohol free, where I decided that I wanted to be alcohol free for a while. It turned into forever, and that day is I'm grateful for every day of my life, because, like I said, life's not perfect, but it's so much better and so much easier to cope with life without thinking about alcohol. It's so much better to actually be in relationships with people where we're not drinking. It's actually, we can thrive in our life, and we can take every single day like it's an opportunity, because it is an opportunity to grow. And we take advantage of the opportunities that come our way, because we're not preoccupied with alcohol. We're not thinking about the binge session. We're not actively in the binge session, and we're not hungover from the binge session. That repetitive cycle keeps us in addiction. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, and we can't get out of it until we want to be out of it. That's the key. We have to want an alcohol free life. And once we get there, It's important to surround ourselves with people that get it. Like my wife, not an addict, never was, but had family members, that a parent that was. So she gets it from an outside perspective, but never actually was in it. So I do value her opinion. I mean, she's in the medical field. She gets the medical side of addiction. She gets, she gets all that. But it's having that group of people, having those individual friendships, having that therapist. Those were the keys for me, to be able to go through this and relate to people and live life alcohol free, and have other people trying to do the same thing and supporting each other, because that's what this is all about, support. So if you're here, you still are here and watching this video and you liked it, please like and subscribe. I've got a group, Sobriety in the Storm. You can click on the link below in the comment section and join that group. um, if you don't want to post here on a public forum, you can post on there on that private forum. Uh, Check out some more of my other videos. I'll pin the link to those in my comments below. Please consider, after you subscribe, becoming a member. I've got 4 membership levels, and I've got exclusive videos, shorts, thanks, and things like that. Stickers coming out, that, and I'll be, doing early releases for members and things like that. So please, if you consider becoming a member. Also, you could give a super thanks and show your support monetarily on here. I'd appreciate every single one of you doing that if you can. If not, I'll continue to make this stuff for free. And then also, I'll be doing a one-on-one coaching, probably through Zoom here coming up. And I haven't come up with the exact amount for that, but I'm thinking about $60 for a 40-minute session on Zoom, where we can touch base either once a week or every couple weeks, and I can support you in that way. I think it'll be helpful for me to know your exact circumstances and triggers, and help you reform and reshape your thinking on that, and so you can stay alcohol free. And this is for anybody who is either sober curious, has already gotten sober, has some time under their belt. This is for anybody who needs support and needs help staying alcohol free. It's important that we, even if we have to spend a little bit of money up front, uh, to stay alcohol free, it's worth it in the long run. I bought books. Like I said, I did therapy. I invested probably, I didn't put an exact dollar amount on it, but definitely in the hundreds, and maybe $1,000 up front to stay alcohol free. And I always thought I didn't spend any money, because I didn't like get into like any coaching or anything like that. But you know what? I spent time and money on it, and it's worth it. So if I resonate with you, that's why I'm here, to help you. So that's what I have on the horizon. So I'm excited about it. I'm happy that you guys are here, and take solace in the fact that you're doing something about your drinking. So have a great sober day, everyone, and we'll see you on the next video.